What's up, YouTube? It's your boy ZndBorn, Berkeley graduated, sound gem validated. We're getting close to the holiday season, and you're probably going to be spending some money on some plugins. So I wanted to make sure I had a couple on your radar before you spend that money. That's probably not on your radar. I just don't hear enough about these plugins. I think they're fun. I think they're good. I think they're inspiring to work with. So I wanted to make sure they're on your radar before you spend money on plugins, before Black Friday and all the sales. So let's not waste any time and let's jump right in. So this list in no particular order, I have Studio One's demo song, Rhythm of the Night, loaded up. So that's the information for the song on the screen. And just a little disclaimer here. Some plugins can be kind of gimmicky. Some plugins can be all hype. Some plugins don't sound like their original analog hardware counterpart. I think they're really dope plugins, and I just don't hear enough about them. So I want to make sure, like I said, just to make sure they're on your radar. So that's the disclaimer. The first plugin I want to show you is STL Tones Tone Hub. They have a collection of artists and studios, and they've taken collections of gear, the sound, the color, the characteristics. They've taken a snapshot of that color and created a preset for it. For instance, I'm working on these drums, and if I go to Mark Lewis's preset pack, he has a number of different presets. And this is just a drum bus. I've loaded up his drum bus preset, and basically they've taken the snapshot of the console that he uses, a snapshot of the compressor that he uses on his bus. If he has an EQ, they've run a signal through all of the gear that he owns or all of the gear in this preset, taking a snapshot of all the characteristics and the color and the tone, and you can apply that to your signal in your song. Additional individual control over key parameters like EQ, the color, the drive, the compression, the master EQ, drum bus comp. He has his console loaded up, SSL bus comp. So basically it's just running through his SSL. And so they've taken a snapshot of that color, and you have additional control over the color and compression. You can easily get a familiar sound for a particular instrument, whether it be drums, whether it be vocals, guitar, top 10 radio ready sound, just by loading up a preset. And it sounds 80 to 85, 90% of what I would get out of my hardware just from their snapshot. And that's pretty cool. This is one of the fun ones to me, and it makes a mixing job a lot easier. This is kind of a cheat code plugin that I'm just not hearing enough about. So check it out. The next plugin that I want to show you is Bettermaker's EQ232D. Really smooth, creamy sounding EQ. Check it out. What I like to use it for is the top end, and it sounds really good on vocals. So I head over to my top end. I dial it into 6 kilohertz of 10.
Don't be shy,
like.
go on and feel the rhythm of the night. The rhythm of the night. Let your heartbeat sync up with the rhythm of the night. The rhythm of the night. And it goes like, don't be shy, go on and feel the rhythm of the night. The rhythm of the night. Let your heartbeat sync up with the rhythm of the night. The rhythm of the night. And it goes like, don't be shy, go on and feel the rhythm of the night.
You can really dial in that top end. It doesn't sound too harsh. Smooth, creamy, buttery. Get it for the low end bump at 60. Get a nice little thud. Bump it up 2-3 dB. Adds a nice roundness to your kicks. Here's another good one. If you are not playing around with acoustical audio plugins, these are, to me, probably some of the most authentic sounding to analog counterparts. They're a little heavy on processing for your computer, but it's worth it in the detail and the quality that you get. This is Acoustical Audio's Ivory IAE3. This is the mastering EQ.
The rhythm of the night, and it goes like, don't be shy, go on and feel the rhythm of the night. The rhythm of the night. Let your heartbeat sync up with the rhythm of the night. The rhythm of the night. And it goes like, don't be shy, go on and feel the rhythm of the night. The rhythm of the night.
definitely get your hands on Acoustica Audio's Ivory Suite. The EQs are so sweet, very subtle, so sweet, very musical. Anything that you dial up just makes the song sound better. That's the review. Anything that you dial up makes it sound better. It's too sweet. We have our Mark II SPL Vitalizer Plugin Alliance. I may have mentioned this plugin before. If I have, I apologize, but I'm going to mention it again because I just don't see enough people using this plugin. And the plugin and the hardware. The hardware is amazing. The plugin sounds just like the hardware, which is incredible to me. That's actually why I ended up selling this hardware when I had it. For me, I throw it on an 808, throw it on the bass track. Let's see if I can find an 808 here. Hold on.
Out for a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess. Put my hips to the desk when I dance like this.
All right. There it is. If I wanted a bigger, meatier 808, let me see if I can solo this trap drums.
Out for a minute, let me catch my breath. Dripping on my big.
Oh, yeah. There it is. All right, so that's the 808. Listen. You can really drive harmonics into an 808 that helps it play through small speakers. So I use this plugin almost exclusively for bass. Bonus, the stereo expander isn't too bad either. Couple quick ones, split EQ. What makes this plugin special is the flexibility that you get. You have control over the transient and the tonal information of the frequency range that you selected. With other EQs, when you dial up a frequency band, you're dialing up all the transient information as well as the tonal information. Maybe you don't want that click. Maybe you don't want that snare to slap so hard and so harsh, but you do want it to sound a little brighter. You can turn up just the tonal information just to get it to poke out a little bit more without it snapping so hard that it's annoying. You have to pick it up. This is Techivation's T-Warmer. I did a little short on it. Really good for bass. Really good if you wanted to add a little texture to a vocal. Really good for bass, kick drums, bass guitar, 808s. One knob. You dial up that warmth. I like to turn it up all the way and then turn it back down once I found my sound. You have a couple of different flavors for the low end sound that you can choose from. Hard goes hard. You dial in the frequency that you want to affect the most and then dial it in a taste. It's a really simple plugin, really effective plugin. And their Black Friday sale is insane right now. I actually may do an entire video on their suite because I think these plugins are really good. Are we ready? Are we doing this? Have you not heard of the God Particle yet? This is, matter of fact, I may edit the video to put this the first thing that you hear about, because the God Particle is probably my favorite plugin for the year. Can I say that? This is the God Particle from Cradle Audio. It gives you a gauge as you mix in as to where your levels are sitting while you're mixing. It's kind of like a magic plugin.
Out for a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess. Put my hips to the desk when I dance like this, but I miss sing press. What you blessed with?
It lets you know all of your target frequency. Are your highs hitting in the right place? Are your mids and lows hitting in the right place? Studio One's demo song clearly is hitting all the right frequencies without me touching anything.
Out for a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess.
So it's great for targeting. Now this is Jason Joshua's plugin. So apparently all of the inner workings of the plugin are all of Jason Joshua's settings and his compressors and his tools, his EQs that he likes to set while he's mixing. So you're getting a Jason Joshua sound with all the targets hitting in the right place, and you can dial in how much of that sound that you want.
Out for a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess. Put my hips to the desk when I dance like this, but I miss sing press.
You get a little spreader, you get a little widening, you get a little top end, you get a little more bump in the low end, and you have control over the high, mids, and lows. You can add some dBs to it if you need to.
Out for a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess. Put my hips to the desk when I dance dance like this, but I'm missing press. Would you bless with the best? All night rocking with you.
This is probably the sweetest plugin. And I went back to some of my old mixes and just threw it on the master bus. And I wish I had it when I did those mixes. One of those cheat code plugins, you throw it on and it just sounds better. Let this be one of the first 3 things that you buy with your Black Friday money. Your Black Friday plugin money. Let this be one of the first plugins that you buy. Thank you, Jason Joshua and Cradle Audio. Plugin Alliance, a lot of Plugin Alliance stuff, guys. I use this for a lot of saturation these days. Very fun plugin. You have second harmonics and third harmonics. Read up on those. Really help whatever signal you're passing through it, kicks, vocals, guitars. Really helps it punch through by giving it some texture, giving it some hair, putting some hair and some meat on the bones.
For a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess, put my hips to the desk when I dance like this. But
you can make it sound really nasty if you want really nasty, or really subtle and punching and kicking through. Use it with care, but it's a very powerful plugin for saturation and harmonics. Next, we have Waves Factory Cassette. It does exactly what you think it does. It strips off years. If you have a modern day 2023 sound and you want it to sound like 1980, 1970, 60, 50, it's that simple.
For a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess, put my hips to the desk when I dance like this, but I'm missing press. Would you bless with the best? All night rocking with you, rolling like a train, baby, choo, choo. Hot like I'm cinnamon, drop like a Benjamin bounce, check, check, on my love bean. No worries, we ain't gotta hurry till the AM. No.
I'm an 80s baby, and it brings me back. I don't want to hear it in the comments. I like this plugin. This is from Plugins That Knock. It's another flavor plugin. Knock is another plugin that when used with subtlety, it's just easy. Punch.
For a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess, put my hips to the desk when I dance like this, but I'm missing press. Would you bless with the best? All night rocking with you.
You hear that kick drum? Not distorted. It didn't degrade the audio. It's good. Whatever. Dial it in 10%, 20%. Get a little more punch. Get a little more knock out of your kick drum. The interface is nice. It's simple. And it works without any headache. That's good. You guys, go for plugins that are easy sometimes. The rules of this game, if I put it on your radar, you have to check it out. That's how we play the game. Plugins That Knock. And the plugin's called Knock. Go check it out. Isotope Audio Lens. We should talk about this because it's a free plugin. It gives you an idea of where frequencies are sitting in your favorite mixes. You open up a Spotify or a Tidal, you say capture, and it gives you a little flow of the frequencies in that song, a little snapshot average of the frequencies of that song. Now this is just information, but it's a very important plugin that should be on your radar, and I like I said, I think it's free. I think everybody should have something like this. When you pair it with Isotope's Ozone, you can take the curve of your favorite song, you can load that curve.
For a minute,
You let Ozone analyze the song you're working.
For a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess, put my hips to the desk when I dance like this, but I'm missing press. Would you bless with the best? All night rock. You rolling like a train, baby, choo, choo. Hot like I'm cinnamon, drop like a Benjamin bounce, check, check, on my love.
So Isotope says, hey, these are the tones and the EQ curve of the mix that you're working on. This is kind of what it sounds like. You could take a snapshot of the song that you've captured, and then Ozone 10 does its best to match the captured snapshot, in this case Tank's song, and it tries to match the tones from that song on your current mix.
For a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess, put my hips to the desk when I dance like this, but I'm missing press. Would you bless with the best? All night rocking with you rolling.
And basically for the demo song, it's like, hey, take all that mid-range information and dial it down a few dB.
For a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess, put my hips to the desk when I dance like this, but I'm
great for information, even better when you pair it with the Ozone 10. Let's take a look at Yum Audio's Spread. Really, what's really cool about Spread is that they've separated the frequency ranges from low, mids, highs, low, mid, and high. And you have control over the spread of that frequency range, and then you have control over where those ranges sit. When you're mixing and you want to create a little more room for a vocal, a cool little trick is to come in here, come into your mid section or wherever your vocal's sitting.
Down for a minute, let me catch my breath.
And create a little more space in the mid range. You go to your instrument bus, you put a spread on it, and you open up that mid range and pop your vocal right in the middle. Yum Audio spread. That's it. If you know, you know. This is Devious Machines Texture. Texture takes whatever signal that you're passing through. Let's solo guitars. It adds a texture to it. There's a lot of presets that you can cycle through. In this case, it's digital white noise. It's adding it to the guitar signal. It's really good for a synth sound if you want to add some grit, some meat and potatoes, some buzz and some anger to a synth. And then it has a collection of, it has some ideas for you in the presets. If you have basses, synthesizers, chords, drums, vinyl, collection of different sounds and presets to give you a lot of good starting points. And you can add your own sample that you want triggered every time the signal plays. You can add and import your own sample. So that's another added bonus that's really cool. That makes this plugin cool. Yo, shout out DJ Swivel with the sauce. The sauce is another really cool plugin. One of those plugins that it just sounds good when you put it on, and it's really simple to use. I'm a big fan of those plugins. You get a lot of these audio guys who are into the technical aspects of things, but we are in the age of content, and all you needed to do is to sound and feel good. This is one of those plugins that just sounds and feels good when you put it on. You can change the pitch and the format.
Down for a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess. Put my hips to the desk when I dance like this, but I miss sing breasts when you blessed with the best. All night rocking with you, rolling like a train, baby, choo. Hot like I'm cinnamon, drop like a Benjamin.
Cool for effects.
Rolling like a train, baby, choo. Hot like I'm cinnamon, drop like a Benjamin. Check, my love ain't no worries, we gotta hurry till the AM. Nobody's gonna tell our bye.
Nice little delay module.
Down for a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess. Put my hips to the desk.
Saturation.
Down for a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping on my big old mess. Put my hips to the desk when I dance like.
Little flanger chorus effects.
Down for a minute, let me catch my breath. Sweat dripping.
Little compression.
Down for a minute, let me catch my breath.
A little bit of reverb. So you guys, this is one of those plugins where if you just need some quick, good sounding effects, boom, pop it on, turn some dials, and move forward. I don't know. That's a lot of plugins. Should we stop here? Maybe we should stop here. Obviously, I have a ton of favorite plugins. I have a million plugins, and there's plugins that I've already talked about on this channel. But these are ones that I don't think a lot of people talk about enough, and I don't think they're on your radar, which is why I'm making the video. They're a lot of fun to me. They're really inspiring to me. I want to make sure that you give them a chance before Black Friday hits. Check them out before Black Friday hits, before the sales go on. Check them out, see if you like them, because this is just an endorsement from me and my channel. I hope you found this video helpful. I want to thank you guys again for liking and subscribing. It's the one time a year where buying plugins makes a lot of sense. It's your boy ZndBorn. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.